The Dreadmace, combined with the Ground Fissure Shield rune, is one of the most broken combinations in Doom the Dark Ages, and I'm gonna explain why. I doubt most people have noticed these tiny melee drops coming out of enemies after you parry them. They fly across the screen very fast, you have to slow down the game drastically to even notice them. But here they are. Parrying does not actually speed up your melee recharge rate as the tutorial message suggests. It's actually just giving you melee drops that equal full charges. If you have the flail equipped as your melee weapon, only one of these drops will come out, giving you a single flail charge. If you have the gauntlets equipped, it'll give you 2. The default gauntlets only recharge 1, but once you unlock Duelist, just the second upgrade, all parries will grant 2 charges. Which is what leads us to being able to spam melee so much against super heavies. It's the game giving us too many gauntlet charges. Here you can see me take down a cyber demon by punching and kicking him 8 times outside of the execution animations. This is because each parry gives me 2 more charges. If you're sitting at 2 gauntlet charges and you parry once, these 2 melee drops will actually raise you to all 4 charges if you have the final gauntlet upgrade. Now, when you have the Dreadmace equipped, a parry will grant only one of these melee drops, which equals a 4th charge of the Dreadmace. Still a lot considering the power of the Dreadmace. But what you probably don't know is that the projectile parries give a different amount of melee drops depending on which shield rune is equipped. Starting with the shock rune, if you parry a projectile, you will get 0 ammo drops. It doesn't matter what melee weapon you have equipped. Shock rune gives nothing, likely because the developers know how powerful this rune is. If you have the daggers or auto turret equipped, you're given the standard amount of melee drops, 2 for the gauntlet, 1 for the flail, and a 1/4 charge for the Dreadmace. But if you have ground fissure equipped, it specifically benefits the Dreadmace, because it actually gives you 2 drops equaling 50% of a Dreadmace charge. That's crazy enough, but where it gets insane is that every enemy that gets touched by the ground fissure blast also gives a melee drop. That means you're getting 3 to 6 drops per projectile parry, which results in a full Dreadmace charge. You're getting a free Dreadmace from every projectile parry, essentially. That in itself should be game-changing for a lot of players. Ground Fissure and Dreadmace is a broken combination at this point. On top of all this, here's where stuff gets nuts. If you're at 80% Dreadmace charge and you activate Ground Fissure, the first melee drops will top you off, giving you a full Dreadmace charge, but then the enemies that are affected in the distance from the Ground Fissure blast, the ammo drops that come from them, will reach you in a delayed fashion enough to count towards the bonus swing that you've unlocked in the upgrades. You go from having no Dreadmace charges to having 2 with a single projectile parry, thanks to Ground Fissure. This is insane. And to make things even crazier, if Ground Fissure hits enough enemies at a distance, you can go from absolute 0% Dreadmace charge to full charge, use the Dreadmace, and then instantly recharge it with the incoming melee drops from the enemies in the back, and then use it again. I don't know if it's going to be nerfed. I imagine it will be, considering that they were trying to balance the shock rune, but for now, Dreadmace plus Ground Fissure seems to be the most powerful combination in the game. Thanks for watching.